Hi, what's up, guys? Welcome back to this episode. Welcome back to this course. So, in our previous tutorials, we talked about designing a gatehouse or designing a security post. We also introduced you certain 3Ds and also some working drawings. So, on this episode of our course, we are going to design and create a 3D rendering aspect of the gatehouse and also the working drawings. So let's move right away into the Revit course and see what we have for you today. So on this episode of our course, we are going to use the Revit 2021. So with the Revit 2021 has a lot of new updated which is an updated version of Revit 2020 and also Revit 2019 and Revit 2018. So on this side, this is the first user interface of any Revit that you open. So I'm going to go right away into the open section and I'll browse through to find my template for this gatehouse design. So I'll go to my new volume and I'll go to Infinity Studios tutorials. I'll come to files and a gatehouse. So I have a template here which I've named it what TT, which means tutorials template. So we have to open this tutorials template here. But first of all, before the template open, there are various stuff that I have to show you, or a various mark or a remark that I'm going to show you, the things that we are going to follow in order to create our gatehouse. So you remember in our previous tutorials I showed you certain 3D or certain rendering images, sorry, here. So our final rendering is going to be something like this in our final rendering. So when you go through, these are various captures or sections in which we took our 3D rendering, and aside that we have the roof plan here, and also we have certain sections which have a dimensions and also the hardcore for the gatehouse and also the gate itself. So these are the things that we are going to try and work on today. So in case you have any design, in case you have any design that your clients have shown you of, you browse through Pinterest and you have series of design. These are what you have to do. So in the first place, you have to bring in your reference designs into Revit. So first of all, I'm going to bring my floor plan here. So this is going to be a reference in order to draw my my gatehouse here as well. I'm also going to bring the section as well. So back to the folder, you just have to hold it, you drag into the working area, and the next thing that I'm going to do is also do the roof here as well. So we are doing this for us not to be going back and be checking. Right away in the working area, you can see we have this floor plans as a reference for us. So in case we are doing any wall, we can just make a reference here. And at the end of the day, we know that we are coming or we are achieving certain images like this. So the next thing that we are going to do is to check your levels. You check your level, so you just have to make a reference to your section, or you have to have in mind the type of design that you are doing and also know the type of levels that you have. So with here we have the ground level, then we have what the roof level, the roof floor level here as well. So we are going to create same thing here in our tutorial. So when you come here, I also have these same levels here, but with the project browser I have level 1 here, level 2 here. So I'm going to name level 1 as my ground floor, which is the GL, and also I'm going to do something very simple here. I'll come here, right click here and do Control C. After doing Control C, I'll come to my level 2 here, right click here and do Ctrl V. So right now my name has been changed here as well. So let's move right away into the code. So the first thing that we are going to do after establishing your levels is to try and know the sizes of the walls in which you are going to use for your gatehouse. So when you come here, we also have a 300 mm here, and we also have a 300 mm thick wall here, but we are going to deal with this one first, which is the security room. We have the WC here somewhere here, and the thickness of the wall is somehow 150 mm without plastering. So we are going to maintain this for now. So first of all, I'll go back into my architectural tab here. Under the architectural tab, I'm going to use the tools known as the wall, and also find a 150 mm wall thick. So I have series of walls here, so I'm going to use the generic 150 mm. Come to edit type and check. The width is also 180 here, so it has some finishes as well. I'm going to take it off. So I'm going to take it off for now to make the wall thickness as 150 as we have in a reference plan. Okay. Okay, here we are. So I just have to do okay from here. So then I'll have to set what my constraints from the wall. So I'm going to do 0 here for now. So my ground level should be 0 and my roof level also should be 0. What distance am I going from here to here? So let me check it from the down, which is 2450. So 2450, I'll create something like this, and also key in 2450 on my keyboard. So adding both the external walls is going to be 2750, and also I have to check from here to here is worth 4.5, which is going to be 4.8. So when we are done, we can also take a dimension to keep the reference intact. Two, 4, 5, 0. Okay, here we are. And also do same for the vertical walls. Okay. So when we are done with this, the next thing that we are going to do is to know the space, which is 1150 for the WC. And also, so I'm going to create that one here. So I'll click on this one and do Ctrl X, which is create similar. I also make a dimension. Please, if you are a new member or a new subscriber or a new who is watching my channel, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also like my video as well, so that it keeps me motivated to do videos like this for you. So after doing this, I'm going to do create a floor inside. And do finish as well. And also change the floor type. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is to take a section through this. I'll click on my section and on hide category. Okay, there we have it. So I'm going to do elevate my floor to 300 mm, or let's say 450 mm here. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is to go back to my ground level. Now we have the floor here as well, and also we have various. So I'm going to put the WC inside here. So I'm going to do CM, which is model in place. Then I'm going to type WC here. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is to create a door, which you have a shortcut, which is DR. Then I'm going to change the width of my washroom door to 750 by 2.1. So we are also going to make a reference to the distance here. So from here to this wall is somehow 3.6. So I'm going to create this wall again. Look for a 300 mm thick wall. Side, I check the other wall adjoining this wall, which is 150 mm. So I'm going to click on this and do Ctrl X, which is create similar, and do a diagonal wall like this. After doing this, I'll come to my modify tab and come to my angular dimension and do this from here and make a reference to my plan, which is 111 degrees. I'll click on this wall and change this one to 2 to 1. Okay, now the next thing that I'm going to do is to get my dimension accurate. So I'm going to check if it's 3.6. So after doing this, we are good to go. And the next thing that we are going to do is to also create this wall, and we also have this wood here, which we are going to create it. And I have a wall thickness here as well, so I'm going to click on this, do Ctrl X, and also place my wall somewhere here. So I'm going to do detail line, create a detail line. The shortcut for a detail line is DL, and extend my wall somewhere here. So the dimension for this is 1.3, and the dimension also for this one is 1.3. So detail line can be a reference line for us, but before we do that, I can do AL, which is align, and align my wall to the edge of this wall. Before I'll do my detail line, which is a DL here. select this one and do Control O, sorry, CO to copy, and do 1.3 here. After doing this, let's align this. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is to also check the space from here to here, which is 1.5. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to select my line here, do CO and do 1.5. After that, I can do split by using SL to split my wall. After that, then I can select on the trim, click here as well. Now I can delete my reference lines. But when you check into the 3D or the images that we showed you, you can see this wall was straight and this wall have been curved somewhere. So we are going to try and create something like this. So I'll drag my section somewhere here and open this wall. So I'll select this wall here, edit profile, remove constraints, then I'll do TR to extend it right now. So when I come into the 3D, you can see our gatehouse is coming into view, So back into our ground level. So after managing to do this thing, we are going to speed up a bit by creating our windows as well. So when you come here, you can see we have certain glass elements here, and we also have a window here and a window here. So come to my architecture tab, look for that window. So after doing this, I just come to my wall again and search for curtain wall. 1.5 minus 300. So I wanted to maintain my I want a plain glass, so I'm going to choose this one and see if it works. Okay, this is what I've been looking for. Okay, there we have something like this. So when I come into, let's go back into the 3D. So I think it's best we bring in the 3D into our working area in order to make things simple for us. So you can see we have a glass all here. So that's what we are trying to create. So when I come back into the 3D, you can see there's glass here as well. So I'm going to change the window here. I can select one and do Ctrl A, which will select all, and look for the type of window I want to use. I'm going to do 1.2 here, or roughly 1.5. Back into my ground level, I'll make sure this and this one also flashes as well. So in order to maintain the flashness, using a section can help you do this kind of things. Now you check the distance from here to here, which is 300, and the distance from here . 550. So what you do is to come into your glass wall and do minus 550 here. Now when you come into your 3D, you can see this has been changed here as well. Okay, the next thing that we are going to do is to come into the roof. And also with the roof, we can also go back into here and do Ctrl C, and back into the roof you can do Ctrl V here as well. Okay, there we have it. So we are going to try and create something like this on top of our walls. So I'll come into the architecture tab and look for floor. So I'm going to use a thickness of 300 mm for my roof floor. Pick this one here, pick this one somewhere here. So we are going to create a backstay design for this, which is 1350. After doing this, you can use a trim and use TR to join this one together. And we are also going to create our void space here, which is 200 mm. So now I can select multiple. So let's count them from our design: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have already 5 of them already, so 2 more. Now we use the mirror as these tools to mirror this one as well. When we are done, everything is okay for us. We do finish from here. Now back into our 3D. Then we have something like this. Now when you come into our ground level, we have a section here in which we are going to use for our level height. So from the ground level, which is 150 mm above, here is 4 meters here. So I'll go into this section, or I'll create a new section which is going to be horizontal section here. Double click on this and check if from here to here is 4 meters. If not, now I have the chance to increase this 500 mm. So that's 450 mm, right? Okay. And also back into the ground level, we also have to make a reference to our security house, the level in which we have from here. So right away from here was somehow 1.2, or let's say 1.1. Adding this one, which is 200 mm, so it's going to be 1050. And we have a space of a window which was 1.8. Aside that, we have our 550 here before our roof here as well. So we are going to create something like that here. So in total, let's go back into the level and see what we can do. So I'm going to check the distance from here, which is supposed to be 1050. Back into my 3D. You select all your curtain wall and you do 1050 from here. Back into the section again. Then you check if it's 1.8. So now we are going to subtract 450 from this to get a 1.8. So here I'll come back into my 3D again, select my windows or my curtain walls, minus 1 meter. Now we have the 1.8. We can also align, check the distance from here. Distance rather. 1.5. Okay, in order to do it fast, let's try and align if it works. So I'm going to copy this, go back into my 3D, select these two windows here and paste this one here. Now it has been aligned here as well. So the next thing that we are going to do is to create back into our ground level is to create this floor on top. So from here to here is 550. How do we do that? How do we do that? So I'll come back into my roof level, select this one, hide this gatehouse here, hide element. After that, come back into the architecture tab and select floor. So with this one, I'm going to draw a rectangle around here. Do finish for now. And also do minus 300 somehow. In order to check if it's okay, I'll view my section here and see from here to here if it's 550. There we have it. So I'm going to select my wall here. So we need to have this space from here to here. So our main wall is going to be 300 above our roof. So back into the ground level, I'll select these walls and do minus of 200. There we have it. Now we have our 300 mm here as well. So I have to add 150, just 50 mm here. So back into the ground level here, select this one, this wall, and we add minus 150, subtract minus 150. So back into our 3D, we can see our drawing is coming into view. It's coming into view. So I'm going to extend this one to hit the edge of the roof and also do same for this, or better still, because this hasn't been reset or the profile has not been edited, I can select these various walls and increase the height, which might be 200 mm or 150 rather. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do, back into our ground level, we are going to create a topo surface. Topo surface is the surface in which you are going to create, or is kind of earth. And after we are done with the topo surface, we try and create a road, something like this. So I'll come to my massing and site, topo surface here. I'll put 4 dots somewhere here in the form of a rectangle. So in a 3D, I can see something like this. But better still, I can edit my surface, move this one a bit here. So when you check into the 3D, you can see this wall was down a bit with some steel columns inside. So I'm going to reduce that wall. Back into the 3D, I'm going to reduce this wall to, let's say, a minus offset of 2 meters. Then inside the ground level again, I'm going to look for my steel columns. So when I come into the structure columns, or even just the architecture columns, and I search for columns and browse through, I can see this circular hollow columns right here. So this is a concrete column. Let's see, we have some for the architecture columns. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to use these two columns somewhere here and somewhere here. So back into the 3D, and also I'm going to compare it into our 3D design that we have here. Okay, there we have it. So the next thing that we are going to create is to create this wooden pergolas here, or the fence here, to make our design very attractive. So back into the 3D here, I'm going to change the size of this because it seems it's protruding inside. And I'm going to increase this wall thickness to somehow 200 mm. So the next thing I'm going to do is to create the timber fence. But before I do that, back into the level, I'm going to create a 150 mm wall here and put my fence on top of it. So better, so I can just do select this wall, do create similar, and I'm going to change my top level to ground level and do my plus 150. So how do we manage to do our fence? So you have to come into component. Under the component, you come into model in place and you select casework, do okay from here, casework 1. Then I'm going to use extrusion, pick the rectangle, and I can also pick a plane. But with that, with the plane, unless I come into my 3D, now back into my ground level, I have the chance to draw my fence as well. So I'm going to dimension my fence and see. Now I'll give it a space of 50. So 200 will make it. Now I'm going to copy multiple. Control CO. So we have to check if we are doing the right thing, but before we do that, we just have to do finish first. Come back into our level, bring forward, bring forward. So I'm going to hide this one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So edit in place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the space we have here is 150. So I'm going to move this one a bit, which is 25 mm. Now CO to copy. There we have it. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are good to go. Now I'm going to do finish. and do finish here as well. So I'm going to extend this section here, or drag this section here right away. Select this one and extend it to hit the surface of your floor. Now back into the 3D, we are going to extend this one also as well. We are going to change this material type. So it's already in the wood. So when I come into shaded or something like that, you are going to see it as well. So I have to finish this one, and in the ground level, I'm going to select the floor in which I created. Because of rendering aspect, I'm going to offset my floor 25 mm from the wall. Do AL to align this wall. So now we can compare this one and see if you are creating the right thing. So it seems we have a wall here in which we have not created it, and we also have some small walls holding the gate. So I'm going to create those walls here for us. So back into the ground level, and when I check here, I can see this 150 mm wall holding the light, and also another wall here as well. So I'm just going to select this CX to create similar. For that, I'll try and do align AL to align this wall, and check the dimension here, which is 250. So after doing that, I'm also going to create these small walls, which is 150. I have noticed something. When you check the previous design, you can see this one extends back than the gauge house. So we are going to create something like that. So I'm going to select this whole thing, but before I do this selection, I'll come into my 3D, select everything from here back into my ground level. Now I can move this one somewhere here like that. Now I'm going to align the middle to this. And check where my window is. Now I can align this door here as well. So after doing this, I'm going to mirror this wall here, or I just have to copy this wall somewhere here. Check the dimension for the old one, and also replicate the same thing for this. So back into my 3D, we've managed to create something, a gatehouse design like this. So we are still continue to create the things that are very necessary in a gatehouse. The next thing that we are going to create is to create the flower area. So when you come here, we have the lawn and the flower area, which we are going to use walls to create them. So I'll click on this wall and do this wall rather. Change this one to N150. And I'm also going to create this walkway gate here. So I'm going to create a floor somewhere here on top of here, 150 mm for the walkway. So I'll come back to my components and search for sink. Back to the components again. I'm going to search for this decks. If I want to make a working drawing, I can decide to create my grid lines here as well. Okay, so I hope we've managed to do something here today. So in the next episode of our course, we are going to try and create the door here and also put some lighting and also ceiling as well. Please, if you have any question to ask, please don't forget to comment on the comment section box. And in case you are a new member here, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So at the end of this video, we are going to create what you've said. We are going to create a 3D like this here as well for your clients as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also like this video and share this video to anybody that you wish this video is good for him. Thank you. See you in the next video. Bye for now.